Good morning, St. Michael's graduating class of 2019. It is said that one should open at the close, so allow me to commence with a congratulation. We did it. 4 long years of hard work has finally paid off. Each and every single one of you should be proud of the astonishing accomplishments you've made. Our graduating class is brilliant, determined, compassionate, and full of potential. If you do not know me, my name is Kayla Carnide, and I will be walking side by side with you when we graduate this June. It would be a privilege and an honor for me to share in the bountiful feelings and experiences we've made together throughout our high school years. It is no secret that we each had a very different high school experience. It makes sense, seeing how our graduating class is full of unique individuals with one-of-a-kind personalities, passions, goals, and talents. So you might be wondering, how is it that one person is to stand in front of all of our friends and family and communicate the stories of all these vastly different, incomparable individuals? Well, we each had something different to offer our school community: friendship, acceptance, support, and so much more. Allow this address to showcase how many parts became one over the past 4 years. We are a grade of collaboration, artists and authors, teachers and athletes, scientists and businessmen and women, all sharing in a beautiful journey side by side. Like all great stories, ours began as nervous niners, struggling to find our classes and living in the constant fear of our locks being cut. We got used to the somewhat uncomfortable uniforms and learned to love the halls of St. Mike's, even the ones that are seemingly impossible to get through in between classes. We made new friends, set new aspirations, and bravely took on high school, eager and ready for whatever was to be thrown our way. However, what most of us did not expect were the lessons we learned not from the pages of our textbook, but from ourselves. In and out of the classroom, St. Michael's has fortified each of us with virtue, perseverance, and patience that will allow us to be fully functioning members of society come graduation. The feeling of community nourished our teamwork as we rode to meets, competitions, and games in the Thunder Bus, presumably bopping to early 2000s era Usher. The fellowship that was developed through the simple words, "Here, take a picture of my review," is unmatched. Not to mention the courage we had to adapt upon remembering, wait, the test is today? Or what about the joy we felt when we heard the test will be pushed back a day? Or better yet, the lowest mark from each category will be dropped. There's something to be said about a group of individuals that can come together each year, dressed in yellow, then green, then blue, then red, then blue, and constantly put forth the utmost amount of effort and school spirit, even if we continuously lose to the 03s. But that never stopped us. We filled the bleachers at last year's Friday Night Lights and woke up at an ungodly hour to start our final high school year together as an entire class. We made the most of our feast days, even if we only attended in spirit, because the friendships and memories we've made go beyond the halls of our school. So, as the story of our high school career concludes, let us recognize the little moments of these past 4 years. The late-night FaceTime call laughs, the constant untucking of our socks, the optional Fridays, the times we felt invincible ranting on our spam accounts, and the times we felt defeated. Thanks, functions. There was the glorious feeling of wearing our St. Mike's jerseys and bringing home titles and trophies, and the times where nothing else mattered but putting forth our proudest pieces of art for our friends and family to see. The happenings of the last 4 years are as unlimited as each of our futures. We had nothing but greatness ahead of us. No matter what our future holds, know you have made us all proud. Whether you are counting down the days until June 26th or trying to savor every last second of high school, know that it is never easy to close a good book. However, when one book closes, all you must do is reach for the next one, and a new adventure can begin. So, reach high, St. Michael's graduating class of 2019. Let's make the most of our final months and finish strong. To quote J.K. Rowling, "The stories we love best live in us forever." Let us hold our time here near to our hearts always. Remember that St. Mike's is always here to welcome you home. Thank you for your consideration.
Good morning, fellow graduates and teachers. My name is Mattacchione, and I'm not here to list off everything that I've been involved in over the last 4 years. Much like graduation day, today and this speech isn't about me, but about all of us, what we've accomplished, and the memories we've made while at St. Mike's. I'm here to tell all of you why I would like the honor to represent all of you come graduation day. It's hard to believe that it was 4 years ago when we first stepped foot into the school on grade 9 orientation day. I don't remember much about that day, but what I do remember is being 30 minutes late because I slept in, Link Crew's speech about high school being what you make it, and everyone clinging to their elementary school friends like their life depended on it because we were all too scared to go and talk to each other. As scared as we all were, little did we know that we were about to start some of the most memorable 4 years of our lives. Much like our ability to leave the caf on lunch, grade 9 kind of seems like a distant memory, though I'm sure there's no debate that grade 9 was a much simpler time in our lives. For example, this was the time when our biggest stress was coloring in none of it on the map of Canada in geography class. We obviously didn't know true stress until the grade 12 English teachers decided to give us 5 major assignments all due at the same time. This is also the time where everyone's friend group could easily be defined by which elementary school they came from. I always personally felt bad for the St. Patrick's kids since there was only 4 of them, and the rest of us had no clue that their school even existed before grade 9 started. This year also saw a lot of firsts, like our first time trying to navigate from class to class under what we thought was a tight time crunch of only 5 minutes. Now we realize that 5 minutes is enough time to stop to talk to our friends, eat a snack, and have a full-blown debate about skipping class to go to Tim's. We also witnessed the 15-minute announcement broadcast for the first time that we would soon always count on as a mini-study session before any first period test. Grade 9 was also the first time that we got our first taste of the cafeteria's food, and little did we know how much money we would lose to the policy of the debit machine only works if you're buying more than $5. Before we knew it, we were tossed into grade 10, and thanks to the 2 electives we were given, we began to diversify our friend groups and form new friendships with some of the people that made us who we are today. Grade 11 started and we all realized 2 things. 1, that our time in high school was limited, and 2, that no one was planning on hosting the semi-after party. We also started to realize that it was time to shift gears and begin to think about where we wanted to go once we graduated, whether that was to work or higher education. Despite the many conversations I've had with some of you about being fearful of the future, I know that you'll all be wildly successful at whatever you choose to do. But here we are now in grade 12, about 2 months out from graduation. People really weren't lying when they say that time flies in high school. It's hard to comprehend how soon we're going to be off on our own to navigate the next chapter of our lives without the comfort of the people that we've become so close with over the last 4 years. I hope that come graduation day, we can all look back on these past years and remember the experiences that we've had both at and outside of school. Somehow we all helped each other survive high school, in part thanks to the many class-wide group chats, and hopefully the experiences we've had together and the lessons learned both in and out of class will help us tackle anything the future can throw at us. For the first time, no one will be looking over our shoulders to see if we finished our homework or monitoring how long our washroom breaks are, and we will never again have to hear the phrase, "clear the hallways," being yelled at any given time on lunch. For me personally, I can finally stop worrying about trying to intercept a phone call, a text message, and an email every time I'm 2 minutes late to first period. During our time at St. Mike's, many of us left our marks and helped make this school a place where we and future grades can say that we're proud to be part of the Thunder. Some of us helped our school's athletics teams reach new heights of success by helping secure many first-place trophy winners that give us a sense of pride as we walk into our gym. Others helped drown out any other school that we competed against by being on our multi-award-winning bands or choirs. For those of you that took up dance, visual arts, or drama, thank you for being a constant reminder that not all skills and talent can be found on a court, field, or rink. For anyone that found their place on a school club, you have no idea the impact you've had on the younger grades to show them that high school isn't so bad and that things aren't so scary once you get over your fear of the grade 12s. For me personally, I tried making a difference as I started our school's toy drive back in the 10th grade. But that initiative now means more than just collecting toys. It represents what our grade can accomplish when we put our minds to something. I hope it shows all of you that change is possible if you want to help badly enough, and that as we leave this school, there's never a better time to help others than the present. To wrap up, I'm going to leave you all with a quote that one of my friends told me and that I've never forgotten, and that is, "It's never too late to be who you might have been." Thank you.
Good morning, teachers, staff, and students. My name is Alessandra Macri, but some of you may know me as Sanj, or the girl who always dresses up as rappers for Halloween. But hopefully, you will soon be able to know me as the valedictorian for the class of 2019. The last 4 years have gone by in lightning time, as it feels like just yesterday we were walking into St. Mike's with our McCarthy dress pants, our all-black Keds, Converse, our runners, our navy blue polo, collar crisp, scared, anxious, and excited to start the day. It was soon after that we decided to put our own scandalous signature touch on the uniform by tucking our pants into our socks. But now comes a time where we will trade in the uniform we've worn for the past 4 years and replace it with a gown and cap to walk across the stage and receive the diploma we've worked so hard for. Our time together began during grade 9 orientation. We walked into St. Mike's during the last week of summer. We sat amongst other students wondering, did Sir seriously just rip a $20 bill? As time progressed, the unknown faces soon became our best friends, favorite teachers, and support system. The confusing layout of the school became second nature. We went from grade 9 worrying if we were ever going to be able to open up our locks to grade 12 wondering if our locks would be cut after class. We realized high school isn't something to fear, but we also soon came to the realization that this is nothing like the movie, High School Musical. High school has become much more than a place to further our education. For some of us, it has become a second home, a place to pursue our dreams of being a famous athlete, artist, rapper, scientist, teacher, and the list goes on. It has become the foundation for many friendships, relationships, and lifelong memories. But we've learned a lot more than what was written within our textbook. We've learned how to be a responsible citizen, caring family member, and discerning believer, all characteristics of what it means to be a St. Michael's High School student. Some of the important lessons we've learned have come from the moments we're not most proud of. We have learned that promoting your new SoundCloud mixtape through the halls or sparking up a rap battle on the way to class is considered a major disturbance. Skipping mass is extremely disrespectful and will result in frustrating circumstances. The many announcements ensuring we are constantly taking part in safe behavior, for example, not riding on the back of cars. Oh, and we've learned inviting people into the school without permission will result in us being confined to the CAF for the rest of high school. It is through these moments with the assistance of staff that allowed for us to grow as individuals and strengthen our relationship with God and each other. Receiving our diploma does not just represent our academic success. It displays our accomplishments in and out of the classroom as well. This year, St. Michael's varsity Tier 1 boys hockey team won ROPSA. We had a student win bronze in photography during the Dufferin Peel Catholic District School Board Skills Ontario. We had Criminal Code 268 perform at the NTS Drama Fest. And we had our senior band win the Brass Excellence Award, just to name a few of our many accomplishments. Our success goes deeper than individual accomplishments. We have become one large inseparable team that not only stands by each other, but also the community. As a group, we were able to stand together and show off our mixed match socks for World Down Syndrome Day, our pink tops for bullying awareness. We gathered over 60 boxes of toys for sick kids, and we raised money for many causes through events like Terry Fox and Catwalk for a Cure. For many of us, the thought of leaving high school and saying goodbye is quite nerve-wracking. There will come a day where we will put on our uniform one last time. We'll walk the halls we called home one last time, and end the day by closing our lockers one last time. We start to think about all our lasts, but we often forget all the firsts that we shared with each other. We were able to witness our first ever cheerleading and rugby team form, our first ever grade 12 wellness day. We witnessed the introduction of hall monitors that no matter how hard we tried to avoid, we would still encounter them. And how can we forget our first, second, and third real fire drill, one on the hottest day of the year? So yes, St. Michael's is indeed like a musical. We began when the curtain opened on orientation day, with high notes, low notes, and drama along the way. But graduation will be the final cast call, where we take a bow for the art we've accomplished throughout the past 4 years. Some of us can't wait to begin the journey ahead, while others can't come to the terms with the fact that we are graduating. But like Troy Bolton and Gabriella Montag sang, we're all in this together. Our journey together does not end here, as the friendships we built and the memories we've made will not be left behind or forgotten. It would be a pleasure and honor to represent your voice as our 2019 valedictorian. Thank you.
All throughout our lives, we've been faced with countless challenges and conflicts that have shaped us into who we are today. Just 4 short years ago, the idea of high school was something so intimidating yet exciting to us all, and yet here we are, just a few short months away from walking across the stage to receive our diplomas. Good morning to my fellow classmates, friends, teachers, and admin. My name is Anthony Hendriks, and I hope that I can be given the honor to be your valedictorian of this year's graduating class. Back in 2015, we first entered this building with so many thoughts going through our heads. We worried about getting to class on time, remembering our locker combinations, and especially, the most intimidating, the grade 12s. However, we eventually got used to the crammed hallways filled with moldy lunches at the time and made it through our first year of high school. Next came grade 10, the year when friend groups became more established and we all started to become involved through extracurriculars. We began to show the school community the true artists, actors, musicians, dancers, and athletes that we truly are. Before we knew it, grade 11 came around and it was time to really start to focus on planning for our future. The nights of homework started to get longer and the stress intensified. It was at this point where we started to learn more about who we really are and became confident with the future paths we have chosen. And in the blink of an eye came grade 12, the year where everything that we've been working for truly counted. Some of us sent out several applications to the universities and colleges of our choice. Some began to plan their victory lap, and others prepared to join the workforce. Despite the paths we have decided to take for next year, all that matters are the memories that we have created throughout our time at St. Michael. We've seen fire drill after fire drill, leaving us out in the cold and hot weather, even during an exam. Every winter season, we've woken up each day checking Stopper and Twitter for a snow day, only to see that buses are running, the school is open as scheduled. We also can't forget about the several teachers who have made our time here a memorable one. whether it was the ones who told the best out-of-context stories or the others who have said that one little thing during class that just stuck with you throughout the years. The teachers have truly been some of the best role models that have guided us along this crazy journey. I think it's safe to say that we have been quite the memorable group here at St. Michael. We've definitely made our mark and even achieved history while being here. Our sports teams have gone on to win regional titles. Our music program has achieved some of the most prestigious awards the program has seen to date. And our ComTech program has continued to create and produce absolutely amazing film. The list goes on. The impact we've made was a big one, and I cannot wait to see what we all accomplish in the future, whether we rise to become artists, athletes, scientists, and more. Now, I also wanted to take the time to talk about what I have learned throughout my time here at St. Mike's. Since joining the music program in grade 9 and becoming a co-leader of the STEM program, I've come to meet so many amazing people and learned so much along my own journey. From all of these experiences and opportunities, if there is one thing that I have learned throughout the years, it has most definitely been to be unapologetically you. No matter what, everyone is always going to have something to say about you, positive or negative. And if you let that affect you and constantly pay attention to the comments, it will prevent you from being who you truly are. So, I want to encourage you all to stray away from the opinions and start to focus on yourself. I promise that the change will be worth it. To my classmates, the finish line is near and these last 2 months of school are where it counts. Those days of being told to untuck your pants from your socks are almost over, and it's time to finish this chapter and move on to greater things in our lives. Even though it may be sad to say goodbye and shut the door behind you, just remember that these past 4 years have been the foundation to your future. The memories made within this building are like no other and will have you reminiscing in the years to come. I wish you all nothing but success in the future and hope that high school has been, in some way, good to you. Thank you.
As a grade 12 student, people frequently ask me if I'm glad to be finishing high school. And in all honesty, I'm really not too sure. Good morning, students and teachers. For those of you who don't know me, which hopefully you all do by now, my name is Alexandra Di Nenno. And if you don't know me, it's probably just because you can't see me when you're walking in the halls. Chances are you just look right over me. But I mean, I get it, I'm short, so no hard feelings. Anyways, moving on. I stand here today in hopes of having the honor of representing our grade, the graduating class of 2019, as your valedictorian. As we approach graduation day, focusing and staying motivated for school is getting more difficult, and waking up for school is a whole other story. Being in grade 12 is extremely stressful because there's so many things we as students need to worry about. Worrying about getting accepted into university or college, finding the perfect prom dress or suit, and figuring out our future can be extremely challenging. We're so close to finishing high school and moving on to the next chapter of our lives that we tend to forget about the little things. As much as we may hate waking up early in the morning, and believe me, I do, this is probably the last time that all of our friends will be at the same school. The last time we'll ever sit in a classroom and actually know everyone in the room. And on the bright side, it's probably the last time we can be told to take our pants out of our socks and get into uniform. So I mean, it can't be that bad. Reflecting back on the past 4 years, I've come to realize how eventful they truly were. Starting off in grade 9, our very first year here, and we still managed to get banned from eating in the Matrix during our lunches. I mean, what a great start to high school. Grade 10 and 11 were all one big blur of fun, especially for those of us that went on S-Trip. And who can forget about that time in grade 11 when the fire alarm went off mid-exam and we had a nice little break from our third period exams. Not gonna lie, I was pretty happy about that one, as I'm sure most of us were. Then not even a year later, Mother Nature decides to bless us with multiple snow days during exam time. Waking up to see Thunder Council tweet, "Go back to sleep" with their famous GIFs was great and all for the first couple days, but trying to endure the 8-day exam period was a challenge within itself. Which brings us to grade 12, our final and most memorable year. This past year has been filled with so many positive memories that I will cherish forever. With that being said, I will never forget that time where I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and come to school to watch the sunrise, just to realize that when I got to school, I had already missed it. Or what about seeing the disappointment on everyone's face when we lost Color Wars this year? I mean, it was rigged, I'm telling you. And of course, lip dub. Who can forget the final dance scene where no one knew the difference between their right and their left foot? But hey, after about 20 times later, I think we finally pulled it off, which is an accomplishment within itself. You know, it's crazy to see how much we've grown, not only in height, well, at least for some of us, but as an entire group. Spending 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, for 42 weeks with each other for the past 4 years, give or take a few PA days and many snow days, I really don't know how we didn't get sick of each other. I'm extremely proud to be part of this year's graduating class because of how supportive we are of each other, no matter what group we are part of. The fact that we're able to come together to support great causes like Fashion Show and Terry Fox is truly amazing. We have accomplished so many great things over the years, whether that be in sports, academics, arts, or techs, which I'm so glad to be a part of. I think in high school, one of the most valuable lessons we discover is that learning is not only something done in class. For example, getting ready for school after snoozing your alarm about 5 times and still being on time for class is something we can't learn in English or math. Well, I mean, technically, if you were to calculate the amount of time it takes to get to school by dividing the distance over the velocity, anyways, that's besides the point. Or what about the level of skill it takes to beat your parents to the phone when the school calls on days you were late or skipped class? Above all, I think the most important skill as students acquire outside of the classroom is the art of procrastination. The fact that we are still able to succeed academically is why we continue to do so. So to answer my question as to whether or not I'm glad to be graduating high school, just like my English essays, I need to brainstorm. So yes, I'm happy to be graduating in the sense that I won't have to sit in those impossible physics classes. And yes, I'm not going to miss walking down a crowded hallway where I have to bump into everyone just to get to class. And yeah, I'm glad that I get more freedom and get to decide what I want to do with my life, even though I have no idea. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to miss the positive aspects of high school. I'm going to miss having all of my friends in the same place at the same time. I'm going to miss all of the snow days and field trips. I'm going to miss color wars, fashion show, and of course, those optional Fridays. But most importantly, I'm going to miss all of you, the graduating class of 2019, who have made the last 4 years bearable. So when people ask if I'm glad to be finishing high school, my answer is, of course I am, but of course I'm not. Thank you.